Hello everyone and welcome to this special preview of a special day. It's Caulfield Cup Day. I'm going to be on course for the day, so I can't wait for it tomorrow. The form reading is going to be hard as it is going to be a wet track, but we're going to get on with it. How I think the track will play is the big question. I reckon it'll start heavy 8 to soft 7 tomorrow. I reckon heavy 8 probably. With the 1,000 Guineas Day being run and then chopping up the track, I reckon they'll be getting down the outside later in the day when the Caulfield Cup's on. So I've targeted horses that are going to be around the outside for the last couple of races. Let's kick it off with race number 1. It's a 3-year-old filly's handicap over the 1,400 metres. We're going to take a look at a market, and Quang is the favourite at $2.90 for Patrick Payne. First up over the 1,400 on a wet deck, but it's had plenty of trials to get it ready for this, so it should be ready. $2.90 favourite. Hell Hath No Fury is at $4.40. Should race on speed for Blake Shin and Danny O'Brien. Desiah from gate number 1 will be right up there early. And Climbing Star, the second favourite, the impressive main winner, is at $3.30. So looking at the speed map, I'm probably going to have to remap all these horses tomorrow morning. The black crosses through the horses means they're scratchings. So we're going to take a look at the actual speed map now, which Subliminal is leading. This is how I've got it. Hell Hath No Fury outside of it. Desiah gets the box seat, I reckon. And I think Quang follows it up so it doesn't get trapped on the fence, and Climbing Star and Berry Bubbly getting back in behind those horses. So I think the map is crucial for this 1,400 metre race. I don't reckon they'll go hard, so I reckon, and being the first race on the day, the inside might not be as bad. So I reckon on speed will be favoured, and my top 4 chances are all the favourites in the market, because I really don't know who I'm going to pick yet. We'll start with Quang first up, 1,400. I'm not sure about in this grade, but it has had 3 trials and it's Patrick Payne. So race morning market's going to be crucial for Quang. If the market likes it, I reckon it's ready, but if it doesn't like it, I might be against it. Hell Hath No Fury, good run in the Jim Maloney last start and can do it again. It'll be lobbed on a slow speed, so I reckon it can hold on for Blake Shin. Desiah, gate 1. It was a good run last time. The Jim Maloney got too far back from gate 1. I reckon it'll use its speed shown in its first start to be right there. Can win. Probably not going to be my on-top selection. And Climbing Star, again, race morning market crucial. Coming off a 1.75 length maiden win, so it'll be probably back in the field. It'll be spotting its main rivals in the market at start, but it can win. That's my look at race 1. Race number 2 is a benchmark 80 over the 1,700 metres. We're going to take a look at a market. Right You Are is at $8 for Mark Zara. Draws gate 2, gets a 61.5. St. Bathans, draws gate 8, should be getting around midfield or so. It's at $4.80. Cap de Joie is the hot favourite for Ollie, drawing the outside gate at $2.15. It should be right in there. And Sky Horse from Michelle Payne at $8.50, drawn gate 1. We're going to take a look at a speed map. This is probably harder to map because there's a lot of horses. Head of State and De Niro come out. I reckon Wild Vitality and I'm a Shelby pushes across from the outside gate to be outside the leader. Sky Horse, I reckon, gets box seat. Right You Are probably gets trapped 2 back the fence. St. Bathans with the Head of State scratching might be able to sneak up to be in the 2 wide line, 2 pairs back as well. Getting way back in the field is Cap de Joie as well. So the 2 main chances are St. Bathans and Cap de Joie. At the moment, I'm actually probably leaning towards St. Bathans, and I'll tell you why. So benchmark 80, 1,700, race 2 of the day. I reckon they'll probably still use the middle of the track because of the 1,000 Guineas, meaning they're chopping up most of the inside. Even though the rail's out 6, they still would have chopped it up. So I reckon St. Bathans will be probably 3 to 4 lengths in front of Cap de Joie in the run. Cap de Joie has to go back from gate 14. If it goes forward, it probably gets trapped 3 wide, no cover. So St. Bathans will have first crack. It loves heavy tracks 2 for 2. And even though Cap de Joie is an exciting horse, I just think everything's against it tomorrow. So I'm probably leaning towards St. Bathans, but Cap de Joie, a very good chance in race 2. Race number 3 is the Caulfield Classic over the 2,000 metres for the 3-year-old colts and geldings. Taking a look at a market, there's a hot favourite, and that hot favourite is Mr. Maestro at $1.70. Clear favourite, good last start winner. It's right in there. Red Sun Sensation for Peter Moody is at $5 on the second line of betting. And Muramasa $5.50 drifting out from that $5 opening quote. We're going to take a look at a speed map. I reckon Maxi Bon at a big price goes to the lead. Mr. Maestro, the favourite, probably outside of it, out of trouble. I reckon Red Sun Sensation might get trapped on the fence behind Fierce Legend. And Miramasa probably goes back with Dream Hour. So the top chance in this race is one horse, and that's Mr. Maestro. Now, over the past 5 runnings of the Caulfield Classic, the winner has been under $5. There's never been a raging favourite. So this is why I reckon Mr. Maestro is almost M-word. Not going to say the real word because that's against the get-on commandments. But anyway, I reckon it's a really good chance to be outside the leader. Dominant last start winner, proven in heavy ground. Harry Coffey takes the ride because Damien Lane's riding in Sydney. But I still think it should win. And if anything beats it, it's because, you know, it's had a better run or Mr. Maestro faces the breeze, which there is no breeze, so it doesn't have to worry about that. I'm just trying to find excuses to get it beat. I can't. So, Mr. Maestro in race 3. Race 4 is the Ethereal Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies over the 2,000 metres. Looking at the market, Moko is at $5 up the top for Mark Zara. Good run last start late in the Edward Manifold. Pavitra at $5.50 is next. Jamie Carr goes on, doing some okay work in the Dali flight last start, coming down from Sydney. Renaissance Woman is also coming down from Sydney. It's at $5. Cabaca, the last start maiden winner for Chris Waller, is at $9.50. Foxy Cleopatra, Gate 14, Blake Shin, $4.20. And Wackamana for John McNeil is at $9.50. Looking at the speed map, I reckon the Sydney side has taken up. I reckon Uncorked definitely leads on the fence. Whether Aunt Roberta gives up to Pavitra for outside the leader, I'm not sure. I hope it does because I don't mind Pavitra's chances. Let's Be Frank Baby probably went out, in the box seat. Renaissance Woman probably might not get trapped on the fence. Moko and Cabaca will be around midfield. And I reckon Wackamana and Foxy Cleopatra, if there's no 3 wide line, it might get trapped out 3 wide or have to go right back to last. So I don't know how to attack this race personally. I want to go with one that's sort of in the market likes it, and it's come through a good race last start. So the main chances I've got are Pavitra, Renaissance Woman, Cabaca, and Moko. So I like Moko, good run in the Edward Manifold, draws gate 3 and will probably be on the fence, which I don't think is ideal in a heavy, probably 8 ground. So Moko's probably not going to be my on-top selection. Pavitra, I think, is a pretty good chance. Up to 2,000 suits, Jamie Carr on, will be outside the leader. It will have first crack, and it might win. So I like Pavitra. Renaissance Woman also coming through that same race as Pavitra. They both did similar work through the line. Pavitra probably slightly better. Renaissance Woman gets into a good spot with cover. I like its chances. And Cabaca coming down from Sydney. It was a good maiden win 1 or 2 starts ago. It'll be around midfield and getting every chance as well. So that's my look at race 4, the Ethereal Stakes. Also quickly, Foxy Cleopatra wasn't in my top chances. I just think the same as Cap de Joie, everything's against it. But if it gets cover in the 3 wide running line and it's probably not too far back, it's a really good winning chance. Race 5 is the listed Gothic Stakes over the 1,400 metres for the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. Taking a look at the market, Lincoln Square at $10 for Greg Gurrell and John McNeil is up there. Drawn gate 4 should get a good run. Eponymous, $4.80. Good run behind KGB last start. Sketched at $9 also comes through that KGB race. Angry Skies comes from a different form line, the elliptical form line. It nearly won a Caulfield Guineas. It's the $4 favourite. And Gaza Blanca, the last start Matoa winner, is at $7. Looking at the speed map, I reckon they're not going to go hard. Custodian might push on from a wide gate to lead, but I don't reckon they're going to lead it at a frantic tempo. I reckon Lincoln Square probably nearly gets the run of the race. If there's a 3 wide line, Gaza Blanca either is 3 wide no cover or it's right up on speed with cover. Angry Skies probably gets trapped on the fence, which I don't like at all. Sketched and Sandpaper probably get into 3 wide running line, midfield or so, and Eponymous might need a bit of luck from gate 7. So my top chances in this race are Lincoln Square, Eponymous, and Angry Skies. Lincoln Square, I reckon there's no query going up to 1,400 metres. It's going to land on a slow speed, and I reckon it'll have first crack, and it's good enough to win for John McNeil. So I don't mind Lincoln Square at $10. Eponymous, I was really hoping it would scratch from the Blue Sapphire and go to this race, and it has. Gate 7, I said, might need a bit of luck. It'll be running on late. Whether it gets there in time off what I think is going to be a slow speed, I'm not too sure. But I reckon it's a really good chance. Got a really good turn of foot. And Angry Skies, I reckon, comes through probably the best form reference, really, behind Elliptical, Bankmore, and the Fortune Teller. Gate 3 I don't really like, but Blake Shin going on is a good bonus. So it's out of those three, I reckon, in the Gothic Stakes. Race 6 is the Alinghi Stakes for the fillies and mares over the 1100 metres. Looking at the market, Mileva is at $6.50. It won this race last year, Jaws Gate 6. Going to get a similar run again, and it might win. It's a top weight at $6.50. One Diva first up, coming down from Queensland for Jason Collett, is drawn Gate 14. Is going to get a good run up on speed. Naj Marty's going to get all the way back to near last. It's at $5.50 and is the favourite. Equal favourite with One Diva. Rose Quartz is at $9. It's also in there. Shalster, the last start highway winner, is at $10, and a very fine red coming down from Sydney is at $7.50. Taking a look at the speed map, Winning Verse comes out, so some of the paces out of the race. Kalkani Royale and Galgani, I reckon, lead. One Diva might get trapped 3 wide, and I reckon will get trapped 3 wide from that gate if it doesn't push up and kick up under Galgani, but I don't mind that late in the day. Shellstar gets a really good run. Mileva gets a really good run. Rose Quartz is going to get back. A very fine red might get to sneak a few positions on the fence, and Naj Marty will probably get all the way back to last. So the main chances I've got are Mileva and One Diva, just the two. I'll start with Mileva. It's the top weight. It won this race last year. First up, it's at a winter campaign this time. Daniel Moore retains the ride. It's going pretty well. 1100 suits, and I reckon it's a pretty good chance, Mileva. One Diva is probably the one I'm more keen on, but I'm not going to say that because I really don't know out of these two. I can't split them. One Diva, first up, I like. Freshness in the legs. Hasn't been proven on heavy tracks, but if it gets to a heavy 8 to soft 7 in that stage of the day, and it's out in the right part of the track, I reckon it'll be running one heck of a race. So I think it's out of those two. The reason I've gone against Naj Marty is that it's going to get all the way back. It's going to have to run past the whole field. It's a big field of fillies and mares. Don't think they're going to go that hard, so it's going to be close enough. But whether One Diva and Mileva will have a better turn of foot than off that slow pace is a question to consider. So I'm with Mileva and One Diva, I reckon, in race number 6, the Alinghi Stakes. Race 7, the first of the quaddy legs, is the Group 2 Caulfield Sprint over the 1,000 metres. Generation is at $4.40. Good run in the Moya last start. Kalos at $8.50. Cummings and Carr, they combine for Kalos. Ashford Street with the lightweight is at $9.50. Good run last start at Moonee Valley. Dragonstone, the favourite, came through a good race last start. Jaws Gate 2 will get back. It's the favourite at $3.10, and Asfoora is at $4.80. Taking a look at the speed map, Malkovich comes out, so I reckon Sartorial Splendour and Rock Artist battle each other for the lead. Oxley Road might not run because it never runs on tracks worse than a soft 5. Asfoora gets a really good run, I reckon, from its gate, probably the run of the race. Kalos might get trapped out 3 to 4 wide if it doesn't make a decision quick. Generation, I reckon, probably has to go back or go behind Kalos, get back to near last, unfortunately. Dragonstone and Ashford Street also back there with it. A lot of on paces on this race, so some of them have to go back. So the main chances are like a Generation. Who else have we got there? Ashford Street, Dragonstone, and Asfoora. I'll start with Generation. Good run in the Moya. Not really proven on heavy tracks, which is the only query, but comes through, obviously, the Moya. Good run, Group 1. Drops back to an easier grade. It'll be in the right part of the track. Just hope the track's firm enough for it to win. Ashford Street gets in with the lightweight. Was unlucky last start, probably not to win, along with Asfoora in that same race. It's not up to the class of Generation, but just because it gets in with the 53 kilos, it has to be considered as a chance. Dragonstone, I really like, and I really hate tomorrow. I really like it because it's come through a good race last start. And it'll put itself, if Tim Clark gets off the fence early, it'll put itself in a pretty good spot. I don't like it because it's going to get back. It's drawn Gate 2, and it's so short in the market. But we'll have to see how it goes. I don't want horses in the Caulfield Sprint tomorrow to be with like back 2.5 to 3 lengths or further back from the leader around the corner. Because if that's what Dragonstone is, it ain't catching the front runners like Asfoora, Sartorial Splendor, Rock Artist. So that's the main reason I don't like Dragonstone. Also Asfoora, similar. similar context to Ashford Street. Was unlucky last start. We'll get a good run for John McNeil. So I really don't know who I'm going to pick in this race at the moment, but those 4 chances are ones to follow. Race 8 is the Group 2 Tristarc Stakes over the 1400 metres. And taking a look at the market, Kiss on All 4 Cheeks is at $8.50. The recent Let's Elope winner, and it was pretty plain in the Sunline Stakes. Palais Pan coming down from Queensland or Sydney is at $6.50. Flying Mascot, the horse we part own, is at $8.50. Argentia also $8.50. Chain of Lightning's the favourite at $5 for Peter Moody and Jamie Carr. Sorry, not Jamie Carr, Luke Nolan. And Pride of Jenni is at $6.50 for Jamie Carr. So we're going to take a look at a speed map. Pride of Jenni, I reckon, leads. Tycoon Evie probably sits outside of it. Flying Mascot's probably in the 1 out 1 back position if it allows Tycoon Evie to roll across, which I hope it does because I hope it's ridden with cover. Now that Bard Raider's out, Argenia might lead that 3 wide line with Kiss on All 4 Cheeks. Chain of Lightning gets a really good run. Palais Pan might get trapped the fence, getting back Paul's Regret and all that. So the main 4 chances I like here, Flying Mascot is the first one, Chain of Lightning, Pride of Jenni, and at a big price, Paul's Regret. I'll get to him a bit later, but we'll start with Flying Mascot. Now, the horse we part own, I probably know more than others on how it's going. So it's had a 5-week freshen up. It was always going to be planned, but she's had a few soreness issues in between. She's had a trial in between runs, which I think the trial was pretty good. She probably hasn't had the motivation to stride out this prep so far. So I'm hoping that changes tomorrow. She's going to get a good run. She's going to get every chance. It's whether she's good enough. And tomorrow's run will tell us a lot about going forward. So I'm going into tomorrow expecting nothing. I'm not going to put expectations on Flying Mascot, but I really hope she wins. Next, Chain of Lightning. Unproven on heavy tracks, but it was a solid run last up behind Zapateo. Going to get a good run and beat Flying Mascot in the Cockram. So I reckon Chain of Lightning's actually a pretty good chance tomorrow. Paul's Regret's probably my roughie of the day. I'm pretty good at doing the form with our horses in the race because I actually really focus on it. So Paul's Regret, probably going to be in the 3 wide line, will be in the right part of the track. Was a good run last on the Northwood Plume, up 200 metres suits it, and I reckon it's way over the odds. So keep an eye on Paul's Regret. And Pride of Jenni leads for Jamie Carr. Whether you want to be leading by that stage of the day, I'm not sure. How I've attacked this race, though, is I want to go for horses on pace. So Paul's Regret's not going to be my on-top selection, but on pace, I reckon, is where you're going to want to be in the Tristarc. Don't know who I'll tip, but I hope Flying Mascot wins. Race 9 is the feature. It's the Group 1 Caulfield Cup over the 2,400 metres, and Night Sorter is at $10, most likely going to lead from gate 18. Numerian at $12 will come across as well and be outside of it. Nonconformist, the recent Caulfield Stakes Caulfield Stakes runner, is on the back up and is at $11. Allegron is at $12 coming down from Sydney. Benaud also comes through that nonconformist race, is at $9. It's also on the back up, and Smokin Roman's the favourite with a 51.5 kilos for Jamie Carr, is at $3.80. Taking a look at the speed map, I really don't know with this race, but I've tried my best. Night Sorter and Numerian, I reckon, probably lead it. Smokin Romans gets the 1 out 1 back position, I think, but I'm not too sure. Who else we got there? Gold Trip probably gets into the 3 wide running line as well. If Macram's probably not going to be in the race, so you can probably cross that off. But Nonconformist probably gets into the 3 wide line. I don't know why I have it out there. Benaud is the one that probably has to go further back than intended from gate 20. Allegron will be back. I don't know where Montefilia ends up. I put it back there, but I'm not entirely sure. Maximal also getting back with Val and Declare from their draws. The 2 main chances I like are Benaud and Smokin Romans. Now, I really like Benaud before the barriers came out. When I drew barrier 20, I had my doubts, and I reckon it's going to get into a further back position than intended, but its work through the line last week was really good. It's a really good horse, Benaud. Whether it's going to be able to loop the Caulfield Cup field, I'm not too sure, but it's a pretty good chance. Smokin Romans is probably the one I'm interested in. Gate 5 will probably be 1 out 1 back. I'm hoping Jamie Carr gets it there. 51.5 kilos. We'll have the first crack. We'll have the first say. We'll be able to pull out probably at the 700. Slide up with the lightweight. Try and win it with the lightweight. It's proven over the distance. It's proven on heavy ground. So I reckon just because it's probably not up to the class as a Gold Trip, but just with the 51.5 kilos, it's gotta be the hardest to beat in the Caulfield Cup tomorrow. Race 10, the last race, is the Moonga Stakes over the 1400 metres. Taking a look at the market, Cinnamon is at $8.50 from gate number 2. Bandersnatch from gate 14 will probably be out wide. It's at $5.50. Aegon's at $10, probably going to get back. Catalyst at $9.50, the Forgotten Horse from the Alligator Blood Australian Guineas era. Old Flame on the back up is at $4.80, and Lady of Honour is the favourite at $4.60. We're going to take a look at a speed map. If Lightsaber does not kick up, I reckon Streets of Babylon just goes straight to the lead. I don't think Open Mind will be too phased giving up the lead. Lady of Honour will be up there somewhere, so will Poland. Old Flame probably gets back to midfield, but if it's anything like last week, it'll probably end up last by the 500 metre mark. Bandersnatch, I reckon if Lightsaber kicks up, Bandersnatch will be 3 wide, no cover, which is not what you want to see. Catalyst will be back with Aegon as well. So that's my speed map for the Moonga Stakes. Considering it's 1400 metres open class, I want a horse that's right in the market. So the 3 main chances are Bandersnatch, Old Flame and Lady of Honour. 3 horses right in the market. There you go. There's your 3 winning chances. We'll start with Bandersnatch. Gate 14, not ideal if it doesn't get cover. If it gets cover, you beauty. You'll be in the right part of the track. Good run last start behind I Wish I Win. And I reckon Bandersnatch is a pretty good chance tomorrow. I can't fault it at all. Old Flames on the week back up has a good reason too. Didn't hardly get tested last start. Got back to basically last on the turn. Will be in a similar position to its 800 metre position last week. There's probably going to be horses running around it, so he's a good chance. And also Lady of Honour will be right up on speed in the Moonga Stakes, which I like. 1400 metres, back to 1400 metres from 1600 metres I like, and I reckon Lady of Honour is a good chance as well. So 3 main chances, hard to split in the last race of the Moonga Stakes. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching my Caulfield Cup Day preview. Hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, my final selections will be on Twitter tomorrow morning just after 10 a.m. Link in the description, go and check that out. But I'll see you all next week for a Cox Plate Day preview.